This is the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast. This is VP. We are a solutions-based podcast diving into the world of contrarian investing and alternative finance. You can find us hosted on the No Nonsense Forex YouTube channel, NoNonsenseForex.com, and podcast players everywhere. Episode 104 is brought to us by Blueberry Markets. Now, we all know it's a bit slow right now, but it's not slow everywhere. There's always a market trending somewhere. And Blueberry allows you to trade just about everything on MT4 and MT5. Trade Forex, crypto, the top 50 traded American stocks, metals, indices, anything you want. And you get the world's best customer service behind it, but only if you use my link. Click the link down below, and that takes you to the blog. The blog is updated with all the information you are ever going to need. You want to click the link inside of that blog to get a really nice cash bonus and your own personal concierge should anything go wrong. Treating my listeners like gold for the better part of 4 years now, it is Blueberry Markets. And it is also the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast. And yeah, it's June, and things are getting slow, as they normally do this time of year. All of my numbers go down because markets typically slow down in the summertime. And because of that, interest seems to go away, which is weird. It really shouldn't. You're supposed to just keep right on trading. I've had some very good summers. But currently, we don't have a whole lot of things trading right now. There's no mania anywhere. That stupid meme coin mania is finally drawing to a close, I think. I would hope. The dollar EVZ, which is a volume indicator, I guess you could say, that we use for Forex, is dipping. Gold and silver dropping a bit, crypto stagnating. What a great time to inject a well-needed money management episode. We all understand here just how important trade management and account management is. And simply by knowing this, you can become a 1%er overnight because so many people get this wrong. Look what happened to most of you in crypto. Made some really good entries, historically speaking, but how much better off are you for it? The majority of your positions probably doubled at some point, likely tripled, possibly even more. But what are you walking away with? Now, fans of the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast know we have a very regimented way we do things, but I haven't quite gone over all the steps that I personally take. So we're actually going to start with the very last one, and that is my forever bag. It's that portion of an investment that I hang on to for as long as I possibly can. You hear about these people getting into Amazon and Microsoft and Bitcoin, super, super early, and price goes up a lot on those three things, so much to the point to where a lot of people take off their entire positions way too early. Now, you should always practice good money management and take some off at certain positions, but you're going to probably, in my opinion, not financial advice, leave a little bit there just in case you discover the next Amazon or Microsoft or Bitcoin. And you certainly want these bags. You want to be able to hang on to some of these things for a very long time because you might have discovered the next Barrick Gold or Hecla Silver or Cameco Uranium or Ethereum. All things that have a very bright future, regardless of what the market does over time. And so I want to talk about the importance of this now while things are a bit stagnant, as opposed to when things are pumping or when things are cratering. And everybody has their emotions, all high and crazy, because as we know, emotions and intelligence are inversely correlated. So while things are nice and calm, let's go over this piece of the game plan. Now, what you do on the way to your forever bag is up to you. Like I said, in a future episode, I'll talk about the way I do it. But some people will take positions off little by little, all the way up, to where some people, like me, are more regimented, and I have certain percentages that I will take off over time, depending on the vehicle I'm investing in. But the forever bag should remain the same. Now, before I reveal to you what that is, let's talk real quick about the types of investments that pertain to forever bags, because not all of them do. Investments that are purely cyclical probably don't. So I'm thinking something like oil. Now, I'm pretty bullish on oil for the short term and the medium term, but I do know that long term, price goes up and price goes down. I feel like we have a lot less of it now, especially because of the way we have handled oil in the last 5 years. So I would expect kind of that baseline of oil to be higher than it was before. But oil and oil companies are very cyclical, and I don't really see the need to hold on to any of those. But the majority of stuff that we invest in here are things that we expect to be around and to be profitable for a very, very long time. Gold, uranium, most of the commodities that we're interested in here, most of the crypto investments we invest in, at least the ones we invest in them because we expect them to be around for a while. We expect them to be the next Layer 1 or the next big DEX platform or the next big gaming studio. These things that we invest in, or at least we talk about here on the show, have staying power. And you guys know we build positions little by little. I just talked about that in the last blog. I explained about how I'm building my copper position from here on out. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you do. But we exit our positions the same way. So I guess the big question is, if anybody's interested, is how do I play this forever bag? How much percentage do I leave left over at the end after I've already taken every last bit of profit? And for me, it's usually around 1/4 to 1/5 of a position. Now, this might seem a little small to some people. They're like, well, you're a long-term investor, VP. If you have found something that is that good, don't you want more of it? And I would say, yeah, I do want more of it. We all want more of it. But I won't risk a larger percentage at the expense of good money management and good profit taking. I won't do it. And who's to say down the line that something like Bitcoin can't be replaced? Or something like the next Newmont mining might not have a huge setback and get bought out by somebody else, and then my position's not worth that much anymore. You never really know. So I personally think 1/4 to 1/5 is good enough. And trust me, contrarians, if you do it this way, you're still going to be very happy with that position. It's going to pay you very well. And if you wanted to, you could still add to it on dips. That's not off the table. But regardless of what you end up doing, here's my main point. Like I said before, you have to decide what that is going to be right now. And there's no better time to do this than right now when markets are stagnant and emotions are calm. Go to the old notebook, go to the old spreadsheet, and figure this out now. Make a column. Only do it on those investments you think have staying power for the next 20, 30 years. And I understand commodities are cyclical. There are people out there saying that the commodities market is so underserved right now that we might have a 20 to 30 to 50 year bull market coming in commodities. Now, that's a really wild thing to predict, especially that far out. But, and I hate to say it, but this time is different. We all know the supply problems that many of these commodities are having right now that really never existed before. Let's put it that way. They exist now. So this prediction could really have some legs. And when it comes to crypto, I think pretty much all of us are crypto believers here. In the overall history of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, this is still pretty early, so it's hard to say. But there's going to be some real long-term winners here. And if you get one, and it becomes industry standard, and it becomes a household name, even amongst the normies down the road, think about that. You're going to want to have a bag of that you just simply buy and hold forever. And when I say forever, keep in mind, some people don't like having their money tied up like that. You can always cash it in. If you want to reward yourself, buy something really nice, go somewhere nice. If you want to pass these investments on down to your next of kin, you have limitless options here. It's your money. It's just in the form of this thing over here. Cash it in anytime you want. But by the time these things come full circle, hopefully you will have done well enough to where you really won't need the cash. And you can just sit on these things for as long as you need. Now, maybe with crypto in particular, you don't find this to be terribly prudent because of how high it goes and then how low it goes and how this phenomenon just tends to repeat itself. Understand, though, the highs get higher over time. We are still on an upward trajectory here. Zoom out and look for yourself. And the possibility of the crypto market taking off and never looking back is a possibility. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. So you are going to want to have that forever bag. Now, just for fun, if you're listening to this on the YouTubes, go down to the comments section and let me know 1 or 2 investments you have right now that you have a better than average feeling could really end up being generational plays. Investments to where a forever bag is probably going to be in your future. I'm curious to see where people's optimism level is in a moment of, quasi bear market / stagnation. But if you take anything away from this episode, it's to maybe put aside 1/4 to 1/5 of a position that you just hang on to for as long as necessary and give it the chance to develop into something generational. But make sure you make that decision now, that if all goes right, someday this time will come and this is how I am going to handle it. Do it now as opposed to when emotions are high. Because if you find the next Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Bitcoin, you are not going to want to screw this up and do something crazy. Because you should be greatly rewarded for being early.